Okay, I've got all of my lines all traced on. I'm just putting my carbon paper to one side. I'm going to slip this back in my book, just kind of tape it into the cover or something, just so I don't lose it, just in case something happens, I need to use it again. If you'd like to bring this back to class, the carbon paper, that would be great. All right, now, we're going to use our cheat sheet now. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to make me a little thumbnail sketch. It's not going to be a big deal. And I'm going to say, all right, I want my monochromatic stuff here. Just doing that, just putting an M there. I want my complementary ones in here. I want my analogous ones in that one. And I think I want my triad in this one. And let's just say this is red, yellow, and blue, whatever these analogous ones are. And you can change them if you want to. And so I'm like, well, all right, so let's start. I like starting with the monochromatic one, and that's what this one's going to be. And we can choose any color we want. This happens to be red. We're going to use starters. I've got a plate here. Make sure you've got a cup of water. An ordinary plate will work fine. This just happens to be a little dish I had in my classroom, so it doesn't have to be fancy. This paint will come right off, so it's not like you're going to ruin anything. I don't like using paper plates really because the paint kind of soaks into them. Just pouring a little bit of paint onto my palette or onto my plate. Got a little puddle of white, get a little puddle of red, the littlest, tiniest puddle of black in the world because you really don't need hardly any. Okay, so this is going to be my monochromatic one. And I kind of like to mix up a light color first. So if I take the lightest color and I say, well, what could I do there? And I'm going to grab just a tiny bit of the red and I'm going to say, all right, that's going to give me a tint, which is pink, okay? And I can use that. And I think I'll use that for my background on this. And I'm just going to come in and paint here, because this is going to be monochromatic one. And I'll just come in and paint this up. Be a little bit careful about these edges. The nicer your edges look, the more it's going to look like one of those cool little Andy Warhol things. Make sure you're mixing enough paint. Like I didn't have quite enough paint, so now I got to mix another color or mix another batch of it here. And hope I can get the same value. But I can, it'll be okay. Alright. The goal is to see if you can get a nice, smooth, coat of paint on this. One thing I like to do is on those folds, I have a hard time seeing them sometimes, so I'll come along here and trace these folds just so I can really see where my edge is. That's just one of those little tips that I forgot to do. Alright. Okay, so come in here and give yourself a nice, the nicer, the cleaner that you paint, the better it's going to look. When I change colors, obviously I'm going to rinse out my brush. I've got a paper towel here. Make sure you've got a paper towel with you. I like getting all my materials when I start. Then I don't have to run around the house and find stuff. Now this paint is pretty forgiving. It should wash out of anything, but don't spill it on things that are fancy, because I'm not sure the red will actually come out. Don't be painting on your mom's best tablecloth. All right, so we're looking at doing that, and I'll come back and we'll talk about mixing colors.